After I ejaculate, it feels as if my urethra is not fully empty. Sometimes I am able to milk out a few extra drops of semen, sometimes not. Sometimes a bit of extra semen flows out in a few minutes, which pretty much takes away the feeling. Sometimes nothing happens, and the feeling goes away over time, but it feels frustrating, like the orgasm/ejaculation is incomplete. I suffer from PTSD as a result of sexual abuse by doctors. It is almost impossible that I would see a doctor over this, so I will not pay for any advice that insists that I go. I will not. However, I am willing to hear how such a complaint would be evaluated if I did see a professional, but again, there is little to no chance that I would see one of those people, and absolutely zero chance I would let a male anywhere near me, not even to take my pulse. Please be clear on this. I have paid for advice here before, but I can get people to bug me to go to a doctor free, so I am not interested in pressure from here. The first doctor you showed me was female. Then you sent my question to a male. No male doctors for me. Get me someone else.
Hello customer, can you tell me if your urine is cloudy after ejaculation? Also, if you urinate, does that relieve your symptoms also? Have you had any decrease in the amount of ejaculate? Regards, Kathleen.
Kathleen, I have not noticed any difference in urine after ejaculating. As for the symptoms, urinating is the same as when nothing happens, unable or do not try to milk more ejaculate, and extra ejaculate does not flow out on its own. The sense of something still being in my urethra diminishes over time, but without the sensation of total completion that happens when extra semen flows out on its own. I am 51, so some ejaculations have less volume than they used to, but I would not say it is a pattern. Depending on the degree of arousal before ejaculation, the ejaculate sometimes oozes out, but usually spurts, although usually with less force than when I was younger. Sometimes ejaculation can be explosive. Even then, I generally have the sense that there is still a bit left inside. I will try to answer whatever questions you have, but this is extremely difficult for me because of my PTSD. I am terribly embarrassed by telling you all of this, and terribly anxious.
Hi customer, I completely understand. The feeling of discomfort you are having, or fullness, may actually just be normal, especially given the fact that it subsides over time without intervention from you. I know there is something different you are experiencing from the past, or you would not mention this. In cases of retrograde ejaculation, from weakened bladder structures, some ejaculate can enter the bladder. Some semen goes to the bladder rather than being expelled during ejaculation. That is a possibility. Some cloudy urine is a telltale sign of that, thus the reason for my asking. Some medications can cause this, especially psychiatric medicines that you may or may not be taking given your history of PTSD. I am going to give you this link to read more about the issue that can exist in varying degrees, and actually is not usually a health problem. As far as what to expect if you had this checked out, the link will also explain how a diagnosis is obtained. Should you have an exam, and I'm sure you would do this no other way, do have someone with you the entire time, even 2 people if you wish, because of your past experience and resulting psychological trauma. Given your age, it is also possible that you are experiencing symptoms of prostate enlargement interfering with complete ejaculation. An enlarged prostate can also interfere with the normal flow of semen. A digital exam is how a physician can tell if you have an enlarged prostate. It is palpable, And that is what the doctor would do if you did go see one. Please let me know if you have any further questions, or any other symptoms to discuss that might allow me to help you more. I cannot take away your anxiety, but please know that any other questions you have are welcome. Regards, Kathleen.
Thank you for the reply. I did read the link you suggested, and when it described how retrograde ejaculation is diagnosed, even the words thorough physical examination, which I copied from the linked site as I cannot even type those words, began to bring on a panic attack. No, I will not be following this up with anyone. I am going to accept your answer and pay for it. I do want to ask one more thing, which is if you know of anything I can do on my own to resolve this? I assume not, but I do want to ask. Thanks for your understanding of my situation. No doubt but that I will live a shorter life because of this PTSD, but nothing can be done about that. Yes, I am in treatment for the PTSD, for many years, but that mainly focuses on me getting through the day without full-blown panic attacks every time I see a DCTR on TV. So no follow-up will happen, but do please let me know if there are self-treatments you are aware of. Either way, I'll accept your reply and send you payment. Thank you.
Hi again. If you think your problem does indeed sound like retrograde ejaculation, at least the good news is there are no real long-term health issues associated with it. If your prostate is enlarged, you can try saw palmetto, but, and I know you understand this, it would not help if the condition is anything other than benign and if it is not severe. If you are taking medications for your PTSD, do explore those as a possibility for causing your symptoms. Perhaps they can be changed and that would help. You can always guide your physical exam. As the patient, you can put limits on what you will allow, by the way. In other words, you can just go talk to a doctor, that is your legal right, and worth thinking about. You can have your therapist refer you even, preceded by an explanation that you are seeking advice through providing your history and symptoms, and then you sort through which recommendations you want to accept. Just a suggestion. I sincerely the best, still available if you need me. Kathleen.
Thank you. I have had too many experiences with DCTRS. I serve on an ethics committee with many, for example, and I have heard countless times that if they cannot force a patient to do what they want, the DCTR, does not belong in the profession. They try to create the impression that you have control over your own health care, but they bring incredible pressure to bear on people to do things their way. They also have zero sympathy for PTSD symptoms. To them it only means one thing: wasted time. They do what they want, and I will die before letting one of them victimize me again. Thanks.
Customer, you are sincerely hope, and pray you can someday really know that all doctors are not the same. I can also tell you that you could, if you wish, ask to see female nurse practitioner, NP, or physician's assistant, PA. Again, just a suggestion for you to mull around. Best regards, Kathleen.
Thank you for your kindness and concern. The very few times I have been such terrible pain that I actually did force myself to try to see a one, I do make certain it will be a female. The only thing that actually got me through an appointment was a misunderstanding between a DCTR and a pharmacist that resulted in my taking 9 milligrams of Xanax, which is an overdose. My problem is even more complex because not only do I have the panic, but any touch by medical personnel, even something like feeling a pulse in the wrist, makes me feel like filth for hours and hours, just like being molested did. I kept this all secret for over 15 years, which I am also sure did not help. But I am where I am, and I've prayed the same prayer as you just wrote about. Sadly, and may God forgive me for saying this, but PTSD and the rest of the aftermath of sexual abuse are evidently stronger than even prayer. I won't continue to take advantage of your kindness by continuing to write to you off the clock. You seem genuinely kind. Thank you.
If you have a health question and want to chat with a doctor now, visit justanswer.com/ythealth.